Hey everyone, this is Holly, and today's video is all about Dollar Tree frames and what you can make with them. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd love it if you click that button. For this next project, I'm going to use 4 5x7 frames from Dollar Tree, and I like these frames that kind of look like faux wood. They're new, and I'll show you down a bit here in the video why, but you're just going to remove everything out of these except for the glass. I'm taking some scrap paper. This is down below in my description box. There's a link to this scrap paper if you're interested. A lot of people ask me about this. I'm going to do 3 sides with different kinds of scrap paper that match the photos that I'm using, because where I'm going to put this in my home, you're only going to see one side of it. So I didn't feel like it was, there was no point putting photos on all 4 sides. But if you wanted to, you certainly could, because it's like a photo cubicle that's lit up. It's so cute. So you Mod Podge the glass, and I did clean it first with rubbing alcohol, and I left this part in so you can kind of see what you're aiming for. You definitely want the Mod Podge to be as smooth as possible with as little streaks as possible, staying in a vertical line like that. And if you have a spray adhesive that's dry see-through, you could also do that. But the Mod Podge does allow you to slide your photos around or your paper around a little bit to get it more situated where you want it, and that's a plus. So I opted for the Mod Podge. There's my babies right there, my grandbabies. So they're going to be on one side. And that freaked a couple of people out when I posted the birth of one of my grandchildren in the conversation area there on my channel. I am a young grandma, so sorry. I started really young, you guys, so sorry if that freaks some of you out. But I do have grandbabies because they started young too, so we just all have grandbabies now. But once it dries, you're going to handle this like any other Dollar Tree project where you want the edges to be really clean. You're just going to take some sandpaper. I'm using a nail file, it does the same thing, and you're going to give it a little sand and get the edges clean, and then you're going to pull all of these little metal pieces out of your frame. Now here's why I like these frames. See the ledge? I'm using super glue gel, also from Dollar Tree, and that ledge is just so awesome because you can do this. And not all Dollar Tree frames offer the ledge, so be sure if you want to do this project that you make sure your frame has a little ledge on the inside, because that's going to be necessary so you can glue it down. And then of course you're just going to glue all of these together into a cubicle, and I'm using hot glue. I do have Surebonder glue in there. It is a high quality glue and it does hold things together really well. I've never had any problem, and I'm not going to be rough with this, so this is going to be fine. And that's it. And then I just put one of the little Dollar Tree push lights in there, and oh my gosh, wait till you guys see it in the reveal. It is absolutely adorable. Highly recommended project. This is so cute. You can find this really cool frame over where the frames are. It comes with a mirror though. That's where they were in the Dollar Tree where I found it. But I picked up some of these LED emergency candles. I always get them around Christmas time. I think they sell them all year round now, which is awesome. And for this one, you are going to need to unscrew the back there, just a little hook so that it comes out. And then I'm taking a large craft stick. This is called a jumbo craft stick actually from Walmart. And I'm just tracing the inner perimeter of that frame, and I'm going to cut it to fit. See what I'm doing right there? Once I make sure it fits, I'm going to give it a coat of black chalk paint. And of course, you don't have to use chalk paint. I always say that because some people think you have to have chalk paint when I say that. Black is a really strong pigment, so any black paint will work for this. It's just I have chalk paint that's kind of starting to dry up, so I want to use it up. And I'm going to glue it down on the front right there. At the bottom, we're making like a little mini shelf, you guys. This is so cute. Oh my gosh, this one comes up so cute. And I'm just using my rubbing alcohol. That's what that drop is down on the mat. I'm cleaning the mirror to make sure there's no fingerprints. And we're putting it back in, and we're going to screw it all back together, the little hook on the top. Now I'm taking 2 of these black pieces, and they're actually the leftover little stakes there that come with these garden fences. I keep everything. I always say that in my videos. I'm gluing 2 of those together, and I'm using a little craft stick piece to brace it. That's the brace to keep it together. And then I'm going to make sure that little seam is painted with black, and I'm going to paint the whole entire thing black just so it's all cohesive and matches and you don't see it. Then I'm going to put that on the front. You don't have to do this. You could leave the front, but I just wanted to dress it up a little bit, and this gives it a really nice edge. Now we're going to take those candles, the emergency lights, and I do have to cut it to make it fit in there. And if you haven't guessed, we're making a wall sconce. And it's so pretty with a mirror, you guys, because it reflects. Light reflects, so it just sparkles. Oh my gosh, I had it on the other night. It is so beautiful. And I had to cut both sides a little bit, and then I just glued it down. And that'll be the little stand for the candle. And I just thought that looked kind of empty right there. So it was missing something. So I grabbed some greenery and I stuck with white and green to keep it really minimalist and still add something. Look how pretty that is. I don't know what those flowers are from the Dollar Tree, the ones I just put in the front there, but that's it. I just glued a little bit in the back, a little bit in the front, and we're all done. For this project, we are using one of the Dollar Tree candle holders, the glass ones, and one of these Dollar Tree 4x6 frames. And I'm just going to go ahead, again, take everything out. And this time I am going to shove just a little piece of the Dollar Tree foam inside the middle, and you press it down really hard. I mean, it's, you don't, I pressed the other one down too hard. You may have noticed there was one on the end of the scissors there in the earlier scene, and that's because I crushed it and I ended up having to pull it out. So you don't want to crush it down too deep or it won't work, but that little frame has like points, and it just helps anchor it when you glue it on top because it sinks into the foam and gives it more of a, an anchor, I guess. It just gives it a base to sit on so it won't fall over. And then I used hot glue to get that to stand up. And this is one of my wedding pictures. This is my sweetheart and me. And I'm just going to use a little glue stick here because I didn't want it to wiggle around once I get it all situated. And I'm going to glue the photo down, and then we're going to put it in the frame. Now I did this first because I do end up using my glue as like the main anchor. So I don't know if you guys can see how I'm starting to add glue. I end up covering that foam entirely. So the hot glue is on low now so I don't melt the foam, but I'm just using the edge of my glue gun here to manipulate the glue and put it into a nice round shape and keep it up on the edge of the ledge on the candlestick holder. You'll have to let me know what you think. I think it looks store-bought. If you buy a frame that's just square, obviously it's a lot simpler. You just use super glue or E6000 and glue it on, but I wanted this frame, and this frame has like bumpy little curvy edges, so I had to get creative there, and that's where the foam and hot glue comes in. And then of course I just covered all of the foam with a nice smooth hot glue, so it looks like it's all one piece. Again, you'll have to let me know what you think. And then I just took some chalk paint and I did 2 coats of paint on the candlestick right there. Then I'm just going to seal it with some hairspray. That's my nice little trick right there, which is enough because I'm never going to handle this or touch it. It's just going to sit on a shelf, but it sure made my husband happy. It's been a long time since I put up wedding photos, but I would love to know what you guys think of the total project. Let me know. I just lost 12 pounds in 1 month using Hypnosio, the revolutionary self-hypnotherapy app that transforms weight loss by tackling the root causes of overeating. I used to nibble on snacks all day long, and I struggled to resist constant cravings. Hypnosio helped me break that habit and to feel satisfied eating healthy, balanced meals. Unlike standard diets, Hypnosio uses guided hypnotherapy to rewire your subconscious, delivering stress reduction, better portion control, and no calorie counting. And it's easy to use too, whether you're a busy professional or a parent. Hypnosio builds a healthier relationship with food. It's not a quick fix either. 94% of users maintain their weight loss long-term with its science-backed approach. Click my link down below in my description box and in my pinned comment, or scan the QR code on the screen to get started. And thank you to Hypnosio for sponsoring today's video. Oh, this one was fun. It came up so cute. I took a Dollar Tree 8x10 frame. Any 8x10 frame would work for this. And I'm using the nautical rope here from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue it on the back just to get it going. And then we're going to start wrapping just the bottom of this frame. And I did run out of the nautical rope, so it's not long enough. One piece isn't long enough. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this part. When I started to kind of tug to wrap this, the frame was too weak for the counter pressure, so I did end up putting little craft sticks in the corner on every single corner. You can see it right there, just to brace it, and that way I didn't have to worry about it bending or moving. So it worked better that way. That way I could tug on the nautical rope and get it tighter around the edges there, and the frame itself could handle that counter pressure really well. So I'm just wrapping up. That's all we're doing. And when I ran out of rope, I just finished it on the edge right there, and I cut it in the back. And then to start the new section, I start at the back again. So now we have this little pocket. Look how cute that is. And we're just going to take some really pretty florals. These are all from the Dollar Tree. Aren't they gorgeous? That's my favorite right there to the right. The ones I'm working with right now, those are my favorite from Dollar Tree. I rarely find them because I think everybody loves those, so they snatch them up. But I did get some, and I'm also using this like faux, I don't think those are supposed to be lavender actually. They could pass for lavender, but I think they're supposed to be maybe like snapdragons or something. For those of you that are really good with flowers, let me know what those purple ones are supposed to be. They're so pretty. I got them in pink and white ones and in cream colored. I collected a whole bunch of them because I think they're gorgeous, but I don't know what kind of flower that is. But I'm just going to start tucking florals in this frame. That's it. And the really neat thing about this project, in my opinion, is you can hang this on the wall, or you could put it in a little stand, like a plate stand, and it stood up on its own too. So you could do it either way. And for this next one, instead of a craft hack, we are doing an actual life hack. So look what you can do with a Dollar Tree frame, you guys, because I'm actually using this frame for this purpose. That's right, it's a towel holder. Is that not awesome? I love this one. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to say I'm cheap, but I'm thrifty, and at $1.25, you've got a gorgeous towel holder. So if you have been following my channel, I have promised to categorize my crafts and DIYs as much as I can if I'm doing a themed video to make it easier for you guys to find stuff. So these last two are ones that you may have seen or you may not have seen, but this is a frame hack video, so I'm keeping it in a theme, and these are the only two I could think of. I probably have more, but I couldn't think of any other ones. These are the ones that jump out because they were awesome, and one of them was just recent, but again, I wanted to categorize. So this one, I took 2 Dollar Tree tiles, and I have 4 Dollar Tree frames, and I'm cutting them out to get them to fit for the frames right there. And I painted the frames first using some of the Waverly chalk paint in the color Plaster, and then I found if I clamped them with the Dollar Tree clamps, and I used that pattern right there. See how it's like it's indented, so I'm showing you how it doesn't slip around, and you can get like a perfect fit that way, because I was a little, it's just who I am. I do pay attention to detail, and if it wasn't, you know, exactly the same in each frame, it probably would drive me nuts every day. So that was my trick. You can put it down on top of each other and it sticks in place, and then clamp it with those clamps and cut it, and you'll get nice even tiles for each 8x10 frame. Then I took the plaster paint and I did 1 coat on each of these, and I took the nutmeg brown from Apple Barrel Paint, and I just did a dry brush to get this effect right here. And when I made this for Christmas, I had every intention of keeping this up all year round. I think it's beautiful. I saw something at Hobby Lobby I was inspired by, and I wanted to make one, so that's where I got the idea from. And then just to kind of soften everything up and mute it and give it a cloudy look, I took a little bit more of the plaster paint, and you could use white paint for that part too, and I just went and dry brushed over the nutmeg brown a little bit, and we get that effect right there. And then I glued the tile onto the cardboard. So you do need to keep the back of your frames because you're going to glue that tile back down onto your cardboard there, and that goes back into the frame. You're only going to get rid of the glass part. You don't use the glass. I mean, you could put glass on top of it if you wanted to. I'm not sure though. The Dollar Tree tile is a bit bulky right? Because it's 3D, I'm not sure it would fit, but you could try it. I just didn't want to do that. And now I am gluing all 4 frames together. So for this one, because these frames were heavier and the extra weight of the tiles, I mean, I just want to make sure I didn't add any extra weight. So I ended up reinforcing everything using poster board. It worked out brilliantly. It's been hanging up for 2 years now. Hasn't fallen down. It looks gorgeous. And I just put a strip of poster board on the back right there. So I glue the frames together and then I reinforce on every seam with poster board. And then when I put all of them together, I put one solid poster board behind it right there. Now I'm doing that, and I'm going to leave the holes for those hooks at the top. But this one kind of absolutely guarantees that it's not going to go anywhere. I mean, this one, I probably went above and beyond what you needed to do to hold these together because it isn't that heavy. You know, Dollar Tree stuff tends to be really feather light. So you could use craft sticks if you wanted to. Just make sure you use a really good quality glue. And now I'm taking that solid piece and the hooks at the top there. See to the right there. I'm going to leave those open because you're going to need those to hang this up. And I just cover the rest of the board completely with the poster board, and it works perfect. And for the seams, they were so small because I had squished this together so tightly that the paint worked like spackling. You can see it right here. So I only needed the chalk paint. If this doesn't work for you, of course, you could use spackling to fill in your seams. And then I have this really pretty wreath here, a boxwood that I was going to put on the front. Now this was made at Christmas time, so to make it Christmassy, I used some of this red and white ticking stripe fabric right here. And then I also used Dollar Tree, it's a creamy color material right there. And I take that is not long enough, so I end up cutting 2 strips and then gluing the edges together and then tying the bow that way. But I just basically combined this material and the ticking stripe material together to tie it on the wreath, which I did end up taking off because it's up all year round. So you could leave it up all year round. I mean, it is pretty. You don't have to take it off. I did take the bow off, but I left this ticking stripe ribbon that holds the wreath. I did leave that up. You'll see it here in a minute with the final reveal. And that's it. And then to deal with the hooks here on the back, I put some wire because I can't stand those little hooks and I'm trying to hang them. But someone came on and actually said, oh, you could just do one solid wire. And I thought, oh, I'm going to do the voiceover again to tell you guys that, because that is even a better idea, because obviously just one wire from one, you just tie it to one hook to the other. That way you can just hang it on the wall with one nail and adjust it so it's nice and level. If you want a more detailed tutorial for this, you can find it in my Christmas videos on my playlist. But I just take some of these berries, I add it to the bow, and this comes up gorgeous. I mean, I love it because it's up all year round in my living room. And again, you'll have to let me know what you think. For this project, we're using the Dollar Tree 8x10 photo frames. I purchased 6 of them all together, and we're going to start off by removing, I call them little legs. I don't know what that is. Stakes, I guess, maybe at the bottom. I cut the middle one off, and then I'm going to cut right up the middle. And when I say middle, it's because I kind of think of those as 2 little arches for this project. And I'm going to cut this is definitely a visual video. You can't explain this. You have to just kind of see what pieces I'm taking from the fence. This is the section I chose to choose from the fence, and I'm literally going to measure, make sure it fits in the center there, and see how that frame has like a little ledge behind it. That's what you're looking for, because that way you can lay the garden fence down inside it and it's still flush and flat and it doesn't bump up, like it won't be bumpy on your wall and make the project lift up when you hang it. But this is the section you're looking for. And for those of you that are worried that when you cut these, some of the sides get thin and look kind of yucky, this completely solves the problem because everything's behind the wooden frame. And this is going to be the template that I use. Now, these are kind of awesome in that the back side, if you've ever seen or held these fences in person, up close, you know the back has like an indentation where they formed it. They molded the plastic to make these faux wrought iron fences, and it allows you to lay it right on top of the other fence and get a good template. So you just, once you get your shape that fits perfectly in the frame, you can use that same shape. I'm using the Dollar Tree clamps. I love these bigger clamps right here because they're super strong, their grip, and they hold them really tight while you're cutting so they don't slip. And so I just cut 6 of those all together. And now we're going to go for the frame. So we're going to be taking the glass out of the frame, the back out of the frame, and you're going to be removing the little black things right there that you see me lifting with my fingers. You're going to take a plier or tweezers or whatever you have, whatever tool you have around. I'm using these, I think they're called needle nose. I think those are needle nose. I'm using those and they're coming out really easy, as you can see. Look at that. They just come right out, and you're going to remove all of those. And that's what it should look like when you're all done. And then you're just going to take your hot glue gun or permanent glue. You can, well, this is a permanent glue for me because I'm not going to be rough with these. And this is Surebonder glue. It's supposed to hold plastic, glass, wood, everything. And I've had really good luck with it so far. I get it at Walmart. It's not too expensive. And well, I live now where there's 4 seasons, so the temperatures really change. I get humidity. I get all kinds of interesting stuff going on. So I definitely kind of had to graduate up to Surebonder glue. I used to use just the cheapest one on Amazon, but yeah, so this does hold it. And I just put a little bit of glue on each one of those sections behind the frame on that little ledge right there, and it worked perfectly. And I press it down and it's good to go. I did those to all 6 of them. So I'm making 2 of these, but I'm doing them in sections of 3. So we're going to start just with these 3 right here, and I'm going to lay them down and put them together. Now I will say I did use some staples from a staple gun to try and hold these together, and it was an epic fail, so don't do that. I end up using E6000, some hot glue, and I use these extra large craft sticks that you can pick up at Walmart. This project is featherlight, by the way. It's very deceptive. I'm hanging them on my wall using a cheap thumbtack, like they are featherlight. So the craft sticks are more than adequate to hold these together. And I'm going to use the smaller craft sticks on the side to reinforce the seams. That's all I'm doing. And please excuse my voice in this video if I start to sound a little raspy. I had a full-blown cold last week, and I woke up 5 days in a row, no voice, laryngitis. I couldn't do a voiceover. I don't think you guys would like the video without the voiceover, but there I go. I'm using a stapler, and I am stapling that together so those babies stay together and I don't have to worry about them falling. But look at how gorgeous this is. Hey everyone, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. I really do love you guys. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you enjoyed it, here's another one I think you'll enjoy watching next.